Hey everyone, so as you can tell, there is clearly nothing really new to actually report on. So, I kind of thought about, I did like a top 10 villain sort of thing, like, I don't know, a while back, and I'm just gonna kind of do something similar. I'm just gonna be here ranking my favorite season to my least favorite season throughout all the seasons here, ranking the seasons of Ninjago, in my opinion. There's not much to report on. I mean, honestly, season 6 hasn't even begun airing in the United States yet. It's really, really slow wait. And we do not have much information about season 7 yet. It's just a really, really slow point right now where we just can't find anything. There's nothing really much to find at all for Ninjago. What's to come and Skybound, we already basically know everything about that now. And season 7, we just can't find anything. But on to this. I'm just going to rank the seasons that have been released so far. Here we go. I'm going to rank it from my favorite to least favorite. So my favorite season of Ninjago has got to be Ninjago Rebooted. I think this because, it took such a different type of turn from what they had done in the first 2 seasons. They kind of had more of a... It just seems so much different than the first 2 seasons. I mean, they had all this technological stuff and all this. I mean, and I really like it because, they didn't stay at this point, They had the season with all the cool technological stuff. They did lots of crazy cool stuff, and then they kind of went back and just kind of focused on Ninjago stuff again, like more of the story and all that stuff, But I feel like this season 3 Rebooted was more the season to just go crazy and do all these really cool, crazy things, I mean, they went into a digital world, they fought robots. I mean, the Overlord returned, so I mean, they somehow brought him back into it. They went to space. I mean, it was crazy stuff. They did lots of crazy things. Pythor returned, it was just a season to kick Ninjago back, or bring Ninjago back into the just bring it back, because that was after the big hiatus or the break from after the final battle. So it was a really, really great way to bring Ninjago right back into just get it starting again. So I feel like it was a really, really great season. It kind of sucked. It was 2 episodes shorter than what we're getting now, 10 episodes each. It was kind of disappointing that it was only 10 episodes, but I honestly really, really liked it. And now to my second favorite, or number 2, is Ninjago Season 1, Rise of the Snakes. This season, it wasn't more focused on a huge prophesized destiny type of stuff like, Season 2 was. It was more just, a new villain has come in and they gotta fight and stop this villain from whatever they're doing. I mean, they're not really, like, fighting this ultimate power and, and destiny stuff and what they have to defeat and do to win in this final battle. It's not that. It's just this new villain and this new threat to Ninjago, just some random new threat. And, I mean, it totally goes off from, their whole story and what they're leading up to. They keep talking about the Green Ninja and, defeating the Dark Lord, but they're talking about that, that's their main goal, but yet they're still going around and having all these different types of adventures, different types of villains, just to be there as well, that this other focus is not their only focus. There's lots of different things in Ninjago as threats. And Pythor's introduction, great character, one of my favorite characters. So yeah, now I'm gonna go my third favorite season is the Tournament of Elements. It was coming right off of Rebooted after Zane's apparent death, but of course we all knew he wouldn't be gone for long. And he returned as Titanium Zane. And, I feel like it was a really, really great return after such a crazy and wild season of Rebooted. Rebooted had space, digital worlds, robots, ninjroids, the Overlord, Golden Master, Golden Power, Golden Weapons, it was crazy. So I feel like the Tournament of Elements was more like a season, just to kind of recover from all that craziness of Rebooted. I mean, it was more of a, jungle, I mean, if you see some of the sets, and some of the episodes kind of focus, it's like an island, it's a mysterious island, a guy, Master Chen, running his mysterious noodle shop, just a tournament, fighting tournament, against other elemental masters. So I brought in that new story. So I really like that this season brought in the story of the elemental masters, talk more about the Serpentine War, Garbodon's past with Master Chen. So it brought more of Ninjago's past into it. It explained more of Ninjago's story a lot with this season, And it was cool to see the Anaconda again. So it just kind of brought back all these different older things, from the Ninjago's past. And it brought in all these new types of characters too, with all these new, these new elements and all that stuff. So it was really crazy to bring all that in. But, it just brought another whole part to Ninjago's story itself. So I felt like it was a pretty good season. Now I'm gonna kind of, this was not an actual season, I mean, it's only the pilot episodes, but I'm still putting in here because it's basically a story on its own, a separate story kind of on its own. The ninja getting gathered up together, fighting the skeletons, defeating Lord Garbodon the first time. So it's kind of its own story, but it's only 2 episodes. So, I mean, I'm only putting it fourth because, it's kind of short, but, it was still pretty great because, it's the introduction. It's the good old days, the first 2 episodes ever of Ninjago. And, the bringing in of Kai, introducing all the other ninja, fighting these mysterious odd skeletons. It was pretty interesting. But, I mean, I felt like it was too short. They could have easily brought this into more of a kind of a bigger story. But of course, when they made this, I can't really complain much though, because when they made this, I don't think they planned on having actual seasons. I heard somewhere that they planned for these 2 episodes to actually just be kind of a, to kickstart the theme for Ninjago, and then they just wouldn't make any more. Well, I heard that the popularity of them actually got the series started, so, but I can't really complain that they didn't make more, but, it could, if they actually did, it could have easily done so much more with the skeletons, and the skeletons didn't even have much screen time as main villains, so, it was still a pretty good story there. It wasn't an actual season itself, but, it's still really good, I suppose. Season 2. Now, I will say this. Season 2 probably has some of the best episodes of Ninjago I have ever seen. And that would be the last few episodes of the season. Now, it's more the episodes from 14 to about 19, when they're just kind of going around and doing lots of weird random things that kind of really lowers the season for me. They're just going around doing lots of different things like the Ninja Ball Run, fighting pirates, fighting evil doubles of themselves, becoming kids. It's just lots of weird, wacky, weird stuff all over the place. This season didn't really feel like it had a main focus until episode 20 began, when, they introduced Misako and the Stone Army, the past with the Overlord and the first Ninjutsu Master. And, that is when they really started to get in gear and, get into a main focus and story. But that was more near the end, episode 20 to 26 is when they really focused in on the Overlord, the Stone Army, Lord Garbodon. That's when they really focused in on that. But before that, that part of the season was really kind of all over the place. So, it was kind of an odd season, but, it was still good. But, honestly, the last few episodes between 20 and 26 were probably some of the best episodes of Ninjago I've ever seen in the whole story of Ninjago. Even some of them were even better probably than Ninjago Rebooted, which I labeled as my top season. So, but it's just kind of this low because the season itself was like half of it was like kind of weird random stuff. But it still had amazing episodes near the end. My next favorite is Skybound. Now Skybound is just kind of near the end because it was still good. I still liked it better than another one. But I feel like the designs for some of the outfits and the new villain Natakan, I actually really liked him as a villain. It's very cool, and I really like their new ninja outfits and all that stuff. And it's very cool that Jay gets his own focus. But I just don't like the fact that it's just doing more of this realm stuff, and that I don't know. It seemed odd with the Jin blades, the Jins. I kind of want to start to see more of Ninjago do more fighting scenes. They've done so much of this, mystical, odd fantasy kind of stuff, but they haven't really, honestly, recently they haven't really done. They've done fighting scenes. They had a really good one in '62 with the Balloon and Jay, but they haven't really had a season in a while where they've just had some really good fighting scenes, just a season. The Tournament of Elements, I feel like did really good on that. But, they still had fighting scenes and all that stuff. Natakan was a very cool character, but, I just feel like it doesn't feel like the older days of Ninjago where it's just kind of the small group, of the ninja and Lloyd Sensei Wu just on the Destiny's Bounty flying around, figuring out the enemy's next plan and sneaking around and trying to stop it and all that stuff. They've really gone off from that, and now they've gone to more crazy stuff in the city, and all this focus, the reversal of the whole season itself. Just it was kind of odd there at the end. Natakan, as I said several times now, Natakan was still a pretty cool villain. Different type of character, he's very cool, very manipulative, as you could say. He really manipulated his opponents and all that stuff. So very cool to see that a villain like that is very cool. But the season, it just seems like it's getting Ninjago further away from what it kind of used to be. So I hope the next season, with all these older villains and all that stuff, it kind of brings back some of the good old times for Ninjago. At least just brings back some of the memories. So that's kind of why it's near the end, but it was still a good season. All the seasons are good. And my least favorite has got to be Ninjago Possession. Now I will say Ninjago Possession is probably the time when we were all very excited and most excited. I remember when I think of new Ninjago, I almost think of this season. Just everyone was so excited. And, I was really excited too. The story, they did add a pretty good story in there. But yet again, it's kind of the story that kind of put it near the bottom for me. Once they got to the part where the ninja were up in Cloud Kingdom, and they explained that there were people up there writing every move that they did. The people that write Destiny. I did not like that at all. I found that to be very weird, and I didn't like it. I just really didn't like it. So I really didn't like that they put that story into there. And also, the introduction, all these, I know the introduction, all the realms, it just opened up so much more to Ninjago and what they could do in the future. But, yet again, Possession tracked way off from what they used to have for Ninjago, just kind of sneaking around, fighting off the enemy and all that stuff, like, fighting skeletons, snakes. They're not doing that, they're traveling realms, they're fighting ghosts. The ghosts were cool, but I did not like their weakness of water, it just seemed kind of odd as well. But, Immoro, he was an okay villain. Honestly, he was pretty cool when he was possessing Lloyd. He seemed like he was pretty strong. But just the whole water thing, to all the ghosts, kind of made them seem pretty weak in a way, You splash them with water and they disappear. they're strong otherwise, but you get a little bit of water, and they're gone. So, and I also, it just seems so. I don't know. I feel like they try to fit way too much in of the story into the season than anything else. Ronan and his. They fit him into it. I guess he was. I guess that's one of the good things I like this season. Ronan, he's a pretty cool character. But they try to fit in Nia being the water ninja. They try to fit in the ghosts thing. They try to fit in all the realm things, all these ghosts. They just try. I feel like they try to fit in way too much in this season. It just. And there are some things I just really did not like about it. Again, I like all the Ninjago seasons. There's always good things in every season. But, that's just the bottom for me there. Just because of some of the things I pointed out. But, they were still cool. The ghosts were still really, really cool. I really liked the new outfits that they brought in during possession, the new hood and all that stuff. It looks pretty cool. And the new Wu outfit, some of the designs for all the stuff were really cool. But, the story-wise and the show-wise, I don't know. But, there are my rankings for all the Ninjago seasons. From Ninjago Rebooted to Season 1 Rise of the Snakes to Turn of the Elements to the beginning pilot episodes. Weren't really a season, but, they're their own story. Season 2, Season 6, Skybound, and Season 5, Possession. So, what are your guys' favorite seasons ranked, or what are your guys' favorite season or seasons? That's kind of my ranking. My top 3 favorite seasons are Rebooted, Season 1 Rise of the Snakes, and Turn of the Elements. So those are kind of mainly my 3. Turn of the Elements is really good, and Rise of the Snakes kind of seem more simple. It didn't seem they were overloaded with tons of stuff to deal with. They still have big problems to deal with, but didn't have like so many things going on. It was crazy. And Rebooted, it was just so wacky and different and crazy. So, those are the kind of the reasons why I like those 3 main seasons in the top 3 of mine. But what do you guys think? What are you guys' favorite or favorites, or what are your rankings of the Ninjago seasons? But there are my rankings of the Ninjago seasons from my most favorite to probably least favorite.